It's another snowy day in March in Pennsylvania. So today we're going to make a nice comfort soup. It's called grilled cheese sandwich soup. So let me show you the ingredients that are involved. The first part of this grilled cheese sandwich soup is the grilled cheese sandwich. I have some nice pumpernickel bread left from our Reuben sandwiches, and I have a couple slices of cheese. So the first thing I'm going to do is butter the bread and make some grilled cheese. But these are the ingredients for the soup. We're going to use a little butter, some carrots, some potatoes, a little bit of cream cheese, vegetable stock, sharp cheddar cheese, fat-free half and half, some mustard, horseradish, and garlic. So we'll talk about the measurements of each of those later. Right now I'm just going to butter the bread and put the grilled cheese inside and start getting that nice and toasty in a frying pan. I'm using some nice Kerrygold butter to just butter the outside of the bread for the sandwiches. Now, what I like about a soup is I usually try to utilize all the leftovers I have from previous recipes. So I had a couple slices of American cheese left over. I had some Kerrygold butter from one of our Irish dishes that we made during St. Patrick's Day week, and it's a nice way to use everything up. So let's just layer up some cheese here. What we want to have is a nice crunchy exterior on this sandwich, and I'm just going to pop this into the frying pan and let it sit on low on the stovetop while we're making the rest of the soup. I have some nice organic carrots here. I'm just going to trim off the ends. Now I'm going to use our iCog chopper and immersion blender for this recipe. So to start with, I have this nice little bowl with a very sharp chopping blade. And we're just going to take chunks of the carrot, about this big, and put them in. We're going to let the chopper do all the work today. This is the iCog immersion blender, and I just want to show you, you can either use the blending blade or you can pop it off with pressing on these buttons. And when you put it onto the top of the chopper, it spins that little chopping blade around. All right, I put those pieces of carrots in here. I just want to put it into place. And then you use the buttons on the top to pulse and blend or chop. Let's always do the changing around without having it plugged in. Okay. I'm using the pulse feeder just to get a nice chopped carrot. Now, look how nice that came out. What we're going to do later is blend this with the blender so it doesn't have to be perfectly uniform, but that chopper blade did a great job. So I'm going to take the carrot that's already shredded and put it into the Copper Chef pan. And we're going to also chop up some potatoes. I have about a pound of potatoes here, and I'm just going to trim off the parts that I don't like about them and then make some chunks to fit into the chopper. All right, we have the potatoes in there. Let's pulse them a little bit. Potatoes are nicely chopped up. We're going to add them to the Copper Chef pan with the carrots. We have a nice mixture here. Let's add some of the other ingredients. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic already chopped. We have some prepared horseradish. I'm going to take a little of that. We're going to squirt in some yellow mustard. Now I'm adding a carton of Wegmans vegetable culinary stock. This is 32 ounces. This is a very nice stock made with celery and carrots and tomatoes and other vegetables, and it makes a very hearty stock. Alright, let's mix it all in. I turned the heat on high until we get it bubbling, and then we're going to turn it down, let it cook on low for about 25 minutes. In the meantime, I turned on the burner here for this grilled cheese, and we're going to get that ready so that we can cut this up into nice little wedges to put on top of our soup. Alright, you can see the grilled cheese is nice and crunchy, and the cheese is gooey coming out of here. What I want to do now, I turn the heat off, and I'm going to let this sit and cool so that we can cut it into nice little pieces, and it won't have the cheese dripping out. So we're just going to get that off the heat and come back. Now take a look at the soup right next door here. It's starting to bubble. Everything's cooking good here. So I'm going to turn the heat down to low, put the lid on, and we're going to walk away from that for about 20 minutes. Alright, now this has been simmering for 20 minutes. Looks like it's getting very tender, so we're going to go ahead and work on this now. So the next step, I'm going to take sharp cheddar cheese. This is from Wegmans too. And this is a 16-ounce bag, and it equals 4 cups. Right there, 4 cups. So we're going to stir this in. Now I did turn the heat off completely. Just mix it in slowly. It'll get creamier as we go here. Then I'm going to take fat-free half and half, and I'm going to add 2 cups. Now I'm just going to whisk that in. So stir it and whisk it. That's what we're going to do to get the creaminess. Alright, let's just work on that a little bit. And we're going to let this start to cool a little bit before we use the immersion blender. Okay, we'll be back in about 15 minutes when it cools off a little bit. In the meantime, let's go cut up our grilled cheese wedges. Alright, it's nice and crunchy and cheesy. And I just want to make little strips or wedges out of this so that we can top the soup with it. So it stays together nicely. A lot of people like croutons on their soup, but this really cranks it up. For texture and for flavor. And then when I get those all cut up, I'm going to take the Parmesan Reggiano, and we're just going to cut up a couple crumbles here just to get a little more topping for this soup. So We'll just all at the same time to get ready for when the soup goes into the bowl. Just little pieces like this. It'll be like flakes. Now the soup's been cooling and it's looking good here. I'm going to take a Philadelphia cream cheese block and I'm going to take 2 nice sized chunks off of there. So I'm going to use probably half of a block of cream cheese. I'm just going to push that in there, and it's going to do a 2-part job. It's going to continue to cool the soup down, and it's going to continue to make it creamy. So I'm just going to keep whisking here so that it gets cool enough that we can use the immersion blender and finish up this soup. In the meantime, I'm taking advantage of this time to make an extra grilled cheese because I have a feeling we're going to be using that all up too. Alright, here's one of the advantages of the Copper Chef. You have this nice handle on each side to help you balance it if you need to do something else with the pan full of food, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to pour this soup into a nice deep pitcher so it's easy to use the immersion blender, and this gives me a lot of nice control to do it. Alright, that came out very nice, and at the same time I can show you nothing sticks to this pan. It's pretty beautiful. I really love these pans. Alright, now we're going to go back to the stick blender. Alright, now I'm going to take the blending blade and we're just going to snap this on. And while I have this in my hand, I'll show you. One button is for pulse, one button is to keep it on constant. But then on the top you can also use this dial to adjust the speed of the blender as it works. Alright, let's plug it in and we're going to slowly blend up this nice creamy soup. I'm going to keep it in the sink to work on it because it's a nice level. Alright, let's see here. We're going to slowly go in and out of the soup. It's loud for me to talk while this is going on, but I'm going to use pulse and the full speed, and we're just going to keep going like this to get all the bits blended up nicely. You can keep going to your desired texture. If we leave it like this, we're going to have little shavings of carrot in here. We'll keep going a little bit more here. Alright, I'm going to stop at this point. This is exactly how I would like it. A little bit of carrot texture, but very creamy soup. We're going to pour this right into bowls. It's still steaming hot. Very creamy soup. Now we're going to top it with a couple shreds of Parmigiano Reggiano and let them melt in there a little bit. And then we're going to take a couple of these nice little grilled cheese. And top it all off. And just because I'm the cook and I can, I'm going to taste it. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Alright, we're going to sit down and enjoy this meal. I hope you get a chance to try this recipe. It's really, really wonderful. Tastes great, especially if you love cheese, and we do. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll put the links to my tools on here, the Copper Chef and the iCock hand blender and chopper, in case you're interested in that. But I hope you come back and watch my videos. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.